Hi everybody, it's RH from ColumbiaVapor.com again. In this video I'm going to be talking about the most basic of the basics, the parts of the electronic cigarette, what does what, and just a couple of definitions, terms you should know about the different parts, things you'll encounter a lot. For this I'm going to be demonstrating with the DSE 510 and the DSE 901, which are two of the models that we carry at Columbia Vapor. With the 901 here, starting from the end, we've got a battery, we've got atomizer, and the cartridge. What the battery does is pretty obvious. It powers the device. It's the part that you charge. The battery will power the atomizer, which creates the vapor. The vapor will be pulled through the cartridge here, which contains your nicotine and flavor based on your choices there. So, starting from the battery, here are some of the terms that you're going to need to know. One of the big things you're going to hear is manual versus automatic. This 901 that I've got here is an automatic battery, I'm sorry. The 510 here is a manual battery. You'll see the button on top right there. Basically the difference between them is with automatic, you pull through it and it activates the battery, the whole thing works. The manual, you press the button to make it work. Most people's knee-jerk reaction is, you smoke cigarettes, you want something that works the same way, so you're going to go for an automatic. But they both have their advantages and their disadvantages, and things that may not be completely obvious to begin with. With the automatic batteries, one of the things they tend to do is it's really easy to sit there with this thing in your mouth and just pop on it all the time. A cigarette will go out, this won't. So you can easily get more nicotine than you actually want. Might make you feel a little bit sick. And also the automatic batteries, to prevent that, if you are a heavy smoker, you want to pull on it constantly. Eventually it's going to hit a cutoff. It's just not going to let you work anymore. The light on the end, it's going to start flashing. It'll make you just set it down, take a break. After a few minutes it'll come back on. With a manual, if you're a heavy smoker, a manual might be a good option for you. It's actually not as irritating as you would initially think to have to press the button to use it every time. And a lot of these have cutoffs too, but I mean really if you're holding the button down, you hit the cutoff, all you got to do is just let off, put your finger back on, it'll go again. So that's one of the advantages to that. Atomizers are going to be pretty straightforward. They've got some different parts and things like that, but we'll revisit that in some of the later ones when we talk about modding and that sort of thing. They're just going to be different for every model. Cartridges. You have a couple of options here. There are pre-filled cartridges, and other people use the e-liquid and add it themselves. With a pre-filled cartridge, it's really easy. It'll have a little cap on it. You pull that off, just stick it on there and go. If you fill your own, all you're going to have to do is you're going to take this thing. It's got some material down inside it. There's some absorbent material. And you just take a bottle of e-liquid, put a couple of drops down in there until it starts to look a little bit full. You might have to dab a little bit off when you're first starting. Don't have a real feel for how many drops it'll hold. And that's pretty much it for that. The one other part that I was going to address is a little bit different. A lot of people are a little bit confused about. It was this piece right here. This is a USB pass-through. The advantage to this is, since an electronic cigarette is more friendly to being used inside of a house or in your car or whatever, because it doesn't create all that smoke and stick to everything the way that cigarette smoke does, what you'll do, this is actually third electronic cigarette here, the 801 pin style. Basically you take the battery off and you screw this in place of the battery. Once you do this, plug this in into any powered USB port, and you can pretty much just vape continuously. It'll never die because it's powered. Really nice thing for this, if you're like me and you play video games, you like to park yourself on the couch every now and then on a Saturday and just waste the day away, you can actually plug this into a USB port on a PlayStation or an Xbox or any device that has a USB port, and it'll power it. If it's a little bit further away, get a USB extension from pretty much any electronics store and just have a good time. So that's pretty much the basics of those parts. Hope you learned something, and as always, if there's anything specific that you'd like us to address in these videos, just send us a message and we'll try to